What do you think about cryptocurrency and blockchain? Like, where do you think it's going? I mean, because, a lot of older generation that I'm in touch with, they always say, oh, crypto and Bitcoin, it's not real. It's not in the real world. It's not got anything backing it. There's no business. There's nothing. And it's bound to fall. But when you talk to younger guys, they're like, crypto is the new world, it's the new way of transaction. It's how you guarantee each other without the central party. And it's just the way it is to be.
That's a very, very broad topic. And there are a few ways to dissect them. And one of the ways would be, how we talked about the steel supply chain or cocoa supply chain, where you have intermediaries controlling the distribution and production of all these different goods and services so that you control the supply and you don't get fair pricing in the market. That translates to unfair pricing for consumers like you and me. And if you look at the crypto space, this is where you decentralize the entire network. That's the whole value of decentralization. You don't have intermediaries controlling anything. And it allows for more freedom of movement and freedom of pricing. So for example, in Bitcoin, use electricity to turn it into Bitcoins, and Bitcoins will then be distributed down the value chain. You don't really have one person controlling. Yeah, you could have people buying and selling Bitcoins, like companies buying and selling them, but they don't exactly control the price. So that's one of the value. And at cryptocurrencies versus blockchain versus like the financial structure or decentralized finance, they're all very different topics, right? Blockchain is really the underlying technology that allows everything to work. So like the TCP/IP to send emails across, that technology, that's like something that blockchain is trying to build that technology to send things here and there. And then cryptocurrency is like the incentive mechanism, the asset that you're transferring between people. Because everything is decentralized, everything is distributed. And in economics, it's a lot about collaboration and coordination between parties. So how do you coordinate with buyers and sellers? You find an equilibrium and then you trade at that price. So that's a collaboration tool. Because crypto is so diverse or it's so distributed, you need a form of incentive to coordinate between your different parties. The thing is, USD has a lot of variables based on Fed, based on geopolitics, that affects the demand of USD. So if you can constrain the outside factors or the external variables, and you just have an internal token to coordinate between everyone just in your little economy, like your little video game, then that makes sense. And that's where the value comes from. And when we look at decentralized finance, when we're building out the whole new system, these systems are basically protocols. They're just systems. And the systems need to interact with each other, with other systems or other users. And that's where you have the value of tokens coming in. So you're right, the value of tokens is not backed by anything. Then again, the value of US dollars or the value of a lot of currency dollars is not backed by anything. We have not been backed by gold since the 1940s. So it's different. What is it backed by then? In general, currencies are all backed by trust. And even in the USD, it is backed by trust because we have the faith in the Fed, the central banks making the right decision. We have faith in the government making the right decisions. We have faith in the US military power so that if anyone attacks the US can fight back. Hence, that value that is created or the values of that protection is found in the value of USD. That's why USD is accepted everywhere. So in the same way, where is the value of trust coming from? Or where's the value of faith coming from in these kind of currencies? Number one, there's a lot of value in network. Because network economies, just like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, the value doesn't come from the platform. The platform is one of the values, but the value comes from the people on the platform. So I can only WhatsApp you because you have WhatsApp. But my other number doesn't have WhatsApp, and nobody can text me on that because my other number is not on WhatsApp. And the value really comes from your network that you can access. If you go back to economics, this is something that economists just can't price for the longest time because all these different kind of networks and information economy and digital economies, they create a lot of value, but we don't accurately reflect the pricing. The only way is if it's traded on the stock market or like a lot of intangible stuff can be priced unless you have investors coming in to price them. And so it becomes very difficult. So right now, because we have this internal token or cryptocurrency to trade within everyone and just to facilitate trade within the system, then the intrinsic value of the system is the lower bound value of this coin. And then the upper bound is whatever speculative effects that you have. And there is value in the system. That being said, there are a lot of systems that's just so the lower bound is actually negative because it's a complete scam. So it's hard to say where cryptocurrencies is going, but if we look at technology as it is and what we're building and the kind of mechanisms that we're building, the kind of use cases, the kind of technological protocol, cryptography's application, and different kind of machine learning that a lot of people are experimenting, it is a very exciting place to be alive. But specific
Yeah.
protocols wise, there are a lot of scams out there for sure.
Oh, yes, yes. It has been a topic I have been trying to study because in terms of trade finance, like there are a lot of trends going on in trade finance to start using blockchain platforms. But I was warned off because what you said, like there are a lot of scams out there. Like you have to choose very carefully what platform you want to use. And for some platform to be useful, you have to get all the parties on that same platform, which is quite difficult. Yeah, so it's still an area for me to study. But if we can start using it, it's going to be very, very efficient because you save a lot of time, you save a lot of paper.
You automate a lot of processes. You execute them with like machines. Instead of now like signing and then scanning and then faxing over and I don't know, whatever, dinosaur technology.
Yeah, you have to courier it to the bank, courier back to the office. Yeah, I know it's very dinosaur indeed.